Fourthly, number 4, the Senate also denied reports that the National Assembly is in receipt of plans by the federal government to borrow more from overseas sources, from outside sources, within the remaining months of 2017. The Senate President says there's no external borrowing plan request from the Finance Ministry that is pending before the Senate. And back to the budget, which is the overarching issue here. The Senate President says, in part, if the implementation of the 2017 budget is going to be 50%, it means we should expect to have a budget of 10 trillion naira in 2018. I hope the executives takes note of that. Now that's a bit of a warning there that the Senate President says he hopes the executive takes note. That 10 trillion is likely to be the budget for 2018 if there's a rollover of 2017 budget, which is going to be one of the shortest in Nigeria's history. If that happens, that is, if the budget 2017 starts from June and ends in December, it's going to be the shortest since Nigeria got independence, about a 6-month budget. If the 50% of that budget, about 7.4 trillion, is rolled over into 2018, then Nigeria is going to be implementing, looking at 10 trillion budget. And the Senate President says he hopes the executive put that at the back of their minds in whatever plans they're making. So the budget is looking a little bit chaotic, as we've said, 2016 to 2017 and 2018. Follow all that, continue conversation here on Business Morning and also on Channels Television. Let's go to the markets. And we start with the stock market. Of course, those multi-million shares crossing on a daily basis continued. On Thursday, 90 million shares of Skybank was crossed yesterday. UBA, 21 million shares. GT Bank, 6.2 million shares. Access, 9 million shares. And about 400,000 shares of Dangote Cement. That's aggressive on a single day, and you can see the most active market we've seen since the fourth quarter started on Tuesday. 1.17% gain on the index. That pushes the general index strongly by nearly 400 basis points to 35,773. And the market cap gained massively, 12.314 trillion. Let's move on to the key market indicators, and you can see where the volumes were looking at massive 317.4 million shares yesterday, largely due to those crossings I just mentioned, largely in the banking sector, with one from the industrial sector, Dangote Cement. There you can see the value. Now that is, okay, this is how we stack up the 5 key sectors. In the green, banks, consumer goods, and industrial goods. You can see the major gain by the industrial goods, 2.8%. Dangote Cement went up more than 2%. WAPCO was a massive 4% gain yesterday. In the food sector, you find Nestle and Nigerian breweries gaining massively. Then, of course, the banks were led by Zenith and GT Bank. Then, of course, the insurance was down by that margin. And oil and gas was off track because Mobil and MRS lost massively on the day. Let's keep that aside a little bit and go to the NESD over-the-counter market. And that's where you're going to see the flip side of the securities market. That particular small market lost 1.16%. The USI, that's the unlisted securities index, was now below 600 reading, but the market cap held its head slightly above water, 403.30 billion, when the market finishes. I'll take that away. Let's bring in the next page, and you can see a summary of yesterday's trading at the NESD, 1.31. A bit of a decent day, really, but that looks like a profit taking when you look at this volume for that very small market, yet the index went down 1.16%. Let's step into the fixed income market, treasuries and bonds. And you're looking at the 4 most actively traded treasury bills starting the week. That's the biggest, well, we've seen, that's the one most active we've seen this week. 129, almost 130 billion in nearly 500 transactions. And you can see that the yields there in the second column are still a little bit attractive to those who want to lock in future value into those treasuries. But of course, those ones are the yields on the papers maturing by those time that you can see there on the far left of the page. Let's go to a bond market. Again, of course, these are Naira papers, foremost actively traded, a very active Thursday as well, even on the day that the central bank repaid matured treasuries. Of course, we're done with FX on Tuesday when we came back from the Independence holiday, and you can see the trading actions there on papers maturing in 2027, 2037, 2021, and the year 2024. And finally, let's do a little bit of a FX. Okay, Naira was up 0.02%, 305.65. The central bank referenced spot FX market. The interbank FX market was a little bit mixed for the local units. 0.64% gain on the pound at 474.77. Fell 0.3%, 361.1 on the dollar, and a bit of 0.04% gain on the euro, 423.59. Take that to the street. Where is the money on the street? It was flat. The market was muted. 363 on the dollar, 480 on the pound, 421 on the euro. And of course, finally, the I&E window tracking of the central bank reference window, 0.04%, 360.33. Yesterday, there was a new coverage for one of the integrated energy trader on the market. Vetiva Capital initiated a coverage on Forte Oil. We're going to talk about that. Show you the key numbers when we come back after the break.